Hello, everybody. I want to do this breaking live. Doug Ford just spent a good 2 hours live going on and on. They're waiting for the high noon tariff release by Donald J. Trump. He went through my famous quoting of day after day, week after week, month after month. You will see the changes. Well, Doug Ford says his electoral autocracy, his involvement in transitioning us into basically dictatorships and communism is the path forward, because that's how they have to respond to Donald J. Trump and GOP at this time. And it's not just a battle of the now and foreseeable short-term future. It's to survive 4 years as a majority mandate for Doug Ford so that Trump will be gone and then they can restore Canada-U.S. relations. Folks, that's not how it works. Historically, USA, when they transition trade, it transitions away. It's gone. And if you don't believe that, just go look at USA's trading history with nations. When sanctions, embargoes, all of it hit a nation, they seldom ever, regardless of Democrat, Republican, ever repeal those directions. In fact, they stay. They stay. Even if a Democrat presidency was to come to power after Donald J. Trump, they need the majority House, the majority Senate. And there are specific majorities you need that are likely not to be seen, if at all, for many, many decades. Many, many decades. Trump and GOP know what they're doing. They're highlighting what their academics have showcased after 4 years of study on Canada and others, but Canada specifically, determining that it's an electoral autocracy. Doug Ford first to prove it. Listen, we're not going to wait for our scheduled election. We don't need to work round. I am First Minister of the Federation, but trust me, that's not my mandate right now. Mine's for Ontario. But I'm going to be First Minister of the Federation under Justin Trudeau. Huh? Explain this to me, Doug. Everyone's confused. Media's confused. Are you liberal or Crown or what are you? There's something Canadians don't know here about all of our ministers, our Prime Minister, our First Minister premiers, the Crown side of Governor General, Lieutenant Governors. GOP and Donald J. Trump want me to start showcasing you these supposedly uncodified executive positions that are in fact codified and evilly codified. So, in fact, that it gives them a mandate of force. Yeah, there's legislation, and I should have tagged Benjamin Ebley in this, but American Republicans in large majority and then a minority of Democrats have asked me to go through this. They say this can never stay in one spot, folks. They don't like it. I gotta move. Pretty silly, but that's Canada. No, they don't. Doug Ford is selling a load of undemocratic baloney. And he takes my quotes that have been dead on, bang on accurate, as we're going to see today on the tariff front. He does go through massive Ontario job losses. They're sitting there just like the rest of us, waiting for this noon thereafter release of the first round of tariffs that can go up exponentially over time. They can go up exponentially over time. Devastation that he thinks is going to disappear. At least he's trying to sell to all of you that's going to disappear. Prime Minister and the First Ministers have a statute of force, meaning none of us are legally allowed to enforce anything or have the right to even defend ourselves. That's the codified truth of Canada that I'll be going through later this weekend. I've got all of it. I have documents that are in Quebec, Parliament of Quebec Library, the original documents. These go back to 1624. I even have the name of the first minister, the creation of prime minister on the French side. We're plurality, meaning two. We have two legal definitions of prime minister that did not exist in the world before 1624 and of course 1710. That is absolutely the legal definitions of prime minister and premiers in Canada. The only definitions worldwide that explain what we are, and it's the actual laws. Donald J. Trump and GOP want me to showcase this to all of you. Their best legal minds in the United States that have a total of 16 more legally written and codified documents. They know quite a bit more about Canada than almost all Canadians do. In fact, probably every Canadian. I've unlocked Prime Minister. I just started on premiers. It's already there. First province that comes up through that legislation is in fact Newfoundland, and I'll be going through all that this weekend. But I expect tariffs coming in the next half an hour publicly. They're already there, but it's going to be the public showing, the high noon showing. I'm sure that's coming in the next half an hour, and I don't want to be too far away from where I live here, and I want to get that done for you. But folks, Doug Ford is right off the charts. Pure Trudeau, pure Federation of Canada First, trying to say it's for Ontarians. But again, he rolls out how it's going to be Ontarians and Canadians through the Federation who have to bear the brunt and pay the duty to the Crown. We have to pay. That's their solution. Pretty pathetic, ugly, wrong. Everything about it's disgusting. But I want to wait for these tariffs. We already have a good idea what they are. It's just a matter of our major industry, oil, how far that's going to go and what the devastation's going to be just on day one. And remember, folks, this isn't the end-all and be-all day one. This is just day one. It's just the start. Again, day after day, week after week, month after month. And it doesn't end with Donald J. Trump. That's the biggest lie and farce that the Crown is going to try and sell you. This is a war on the Crown and the undemocratic, autocratic, socialist and fascist system. That's what America's highlighting with tariffs. That's the war against the Crown. And sadly, you're the cannon fodder, as you've always been. Statute of force, the monopoly of force. It's coming tomorrow by me for the first time in Canadian history ever. And it's kind of ironic that it's tariffs that has to bring that about, but it's a good thing. And it goes back to these conflicts with the Crown, everything America is and we're not. And it's a line in the sand with Donald J. Trump and the GOP. And they're going to break Canada, not only just Canada, all of these colonial systems, decolonize North America, rebuild Turtle Island. God bless. I'm going to be shooting another live post-tariffs and those rollouts publicly today, and we'll get into it. Bye now.